Welcome back to MMA Oddsbreaker. I'm Frank Trigg. Of course, that's Jim Miller getting ready to fight. Donald Cerrone come up here on UFC Fight Night. Jim and I have interviewed each other. I've interviewed Jim a couple times. We always talk about his beer and his wine, his alcohol making stuff. And now the hot topic of the day is PEDs. It's back in the limelight again. Obviously, we lost Chael Sonnen. He gets removed from Fox. He gets removed from the UFC. Rouster. Ali Bagirtonov just got released. He just fought DJ up there in Vancouver. In your experience, don't name names, don't say if it's guys in your camp, but in your experience, do you know anybody for sure that is using performance-enhancing drugs that compete in MMA at any level, whether it's amateur or pro?
No, honestly, I don't hang around in those types of circles. Obviously, there are a couple guys that you have your suspicions about. They seem to have some of the side effects of steroid use and stuff like that, but unless they've actually failed the drug test, I don't know, and I'm not I'm not the type to speculate, So I'd like to see more testing. But yeah, I don't even like it when guys give out numbers saying 90%, 80%. I'm pretty sure more than 10% of the fighters have said 90% are using. So there's some BS floating around there somewhere.
Not maybe 3-4 years ago, Ken Shamrock and Dennis Hallman came out and said, hey, it's 90% of the fighters. Tim Kennedy came out a couple days ago. He said 60 to 70% of the fighters are using PEDs. You say you don't know anybody that actively uses it, not saying that anybody in your group that doesn't use it. We're just saying that you don't know that for sure. You're like me, unless it's positive, you're not going to throw that name out there or throw that deal out there. Do you embrace, as soon as you're licensed, and say you're licensed in Jersey or you're licensed in Nevada, do you embrace, even when you're not fighting or not in training camp, having random drug testing put on fighters?
Yeah. I have a contract with the UFC, and I wouldn't care if it was, you don't have a fight coming up and they test you. It's unfortunately, it's professional athletics, and there are athletes in every sport that do this, but there haven't really been any steps, or that big of steps, in my opinion, to clean it up yet.
The only way to really clean it up is to catch guys and giving them that year ban, but not doing it where they get a year ban, they're allowed to retire and go, oh yeah, I retired. So they don't ever have to pay the fine. And the year ban does nothing to them because they've already moved on to other things. You've got to, like Stephan Bonner, he got caught when he competed against Anderson Silva. They gave him a year ban, they hit him with a fine. He's never going to pay the fine. He never fought again. He retired, so it really didn't do anything to him.
Yeah.
They've got to catch guys like Ali. A year, the UFC even came out and said, look, we have it in our contract. He's not allowed to use PEDs. He's been caught. He's on a year suspension for us, and he's going to have to pass a drug test before he can fight for the UFC again. That's just how it's going to be. Now, do you think that kind of deal where you're going to actually catch somebody, give them a year ban, make them pay the fine, then bring them back is going to actually start helping? Is that the right direction for curbing the drug problem right now in mixed martial arts?
I think so. I think that the penalties need to be big, and guys need to, be forced to deal with it and deal with the penalty. So, you need to make these guys accountable for their actions.
You've been fighting since 2005. I fought starting in 1997. Geez. And we first started, there wasn't any drug rules. There was nothing going on. And in about 2004, 2005, they started putting in these regulations for failing drugs. At first it was 3 months, then went to 6 months. Now it seems like first offense gives you a year. Do you think it should be longer than a year, or do you think a year is good for the first offense plus a larger fine? Do you think that's okay to start with?
Yeah, I do. The way guys get hurt and stuff like that. I mean, 3 months suspension is like just a normal layoff between fights, basically. So you need to start at least a year. But then if you start going longer than that for first offense, I think you are going to get guys that are just going to kind of get out of the sport once they get caught.
Which is okay, too. I mean, really, if you need to cheat to be in the sport, you might as well get out. I've always been in agreement of 1 year first time, 2 years second time, third time lifelong ban, and you remove from all Hall of Fames, you remove from all records. Like, You get that third year ban, you get Barry Bonds disease, or you get where you're caught, you get banned out, you're done. Like that's it. You're not even eligible for Hall of Fames anymore, no matter how good you were because you got popped out. Well, enough about PEDs. Let's move on to your actual fight. You got Cowboy Donald Cerrone come up as your next fight. It's coming up July 16th. It's in Atlantic City, so it's home essentially for you. It's close, but does the hometown advantage actually help you in this fight?
I really don't think that. I don't think it does. I don't really care where I'm fighting. I'm going to try to fight the same way, and obviously when you travel in different countries, across one of the Atlantic or Pacific, it's going to affect you. But anywhere in the United States, it's really the same to me. I hope the crowd's behind me and are cheering for me because I definitely feed off of that energy. But I don't think I need any advantage. I'm going in there to fight my fight either way, and make him fight that way and take him out.
This is the first time, at least for me, mind you, I'm on the outside looking in, a guy that has the same style or not same style, but the same technical game of boxing and the same technical game of submission, where both of you are very proficient at both games, very, very well. The biggest difference for me is the mental game. You seem to be so much more mentally strong than Donald throughout your entire career, where he has some ups and downs when it comes to the mental game. Are you going to try and play a mental game inside the ring with him a little bit, as well as a physical game too?
Always. You're always fighting. Anytime you walk past your opponent in the hallway or step on the elevator together, you're fighting. So obviously I'm gonna, once we step in here, I'm gonna fight my fight and I'm gonna put the pressure on him. And if I can break him, then great. There's really not much more satisfying a feeling inside the cage and looking across to your opponent in between rounds and seeing him just, the fight just leave his eyes, and that the finish is coming up.
Does Donald bring anything to the cage that is a little bit different than anybody else, or is everything he brings in you've seen in some other opponent in your career?
He's got a different style of striking than I've seen before. He's got that very traditional, Muay Thai type striking. He's a tough, resilient guy. He's got a lot of characteristics of quite a few of the guys that I've fought. But yeah, he's definitely a tough dude, and it's gonna be a tough one for me. I need to be on my A game.
All right, Jim. Thanks. I know you got kids. I don't want to keep it too much longer. I appreciate you coming on here. It's always great for me to get to interview you because you and I have such a good time with our interviews. I appreciate it. Good luck against Donald Cerrone. Come up here on July 16th, UFC Fight Night in Atlantic City, New Jersey. I can't wait to see it. It's going to be a great fight to watch on Fox.
Thank you.